The opinions expressed on this program are those of the program host and guest and are not necessarily those of this station, management, staff, and sponsors. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. It's time now for the Crown Car Care Show. Call in with questions and comments, 220-9788, 220-WSTU. Now, here's your host.
Good afternoon, everybody. Looks like it's getting towards the end of the year, and we got about, 5 weeks till Christmas?
Yes, sneaking up on us quick.
It is.
Yes.
Last week, we had a great show, I thought. We had Jasper Engines and Transmissions here.
Terrific
It was
show.
fun.
Yeah.
And he offered a lot of good insight into the wheres and the whys of choosing a company that remanufactures engines and transmissions and really stands by their product before, during, and after. What a great company.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was talking to him. He emailed me the other day, and he says, gosh, I'd love to be on again. And I says, gosh, we'd like to have you on again. It was just a fun hour.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah. We'll look forward to his return visit.
I don't know if it was as fun as the Tesla hour, but it was still fun.
It was very good.
And speaking of Tesla, I understand we've got some news today, and let's start with that.
Yeah. Tesla is not in the news today, but lots of other automotive news. GM said it will significantly cut its salaried workforce and could close up to 5 plants in North America, plus 2 more elsewhere, as it discontinues several car models.
I wonder if that's
thinning out its line.
Yeah, and that seems to be a trend, doesn't it?
Yeah,
And, Ford's done it,
yeah.
And I think a lot of companies are offering less, but maybe it has to do with technologies getting so advanced, and we're seeing cars do so much that it's to keep your focus and keep on your game, so you hit them out of the park with quality. Sometimes maybe you can't offer so many different types of pancakes. You know what I mean? Maybe you just have to focus on the buckwheat and the flapjack, right? And you can't go beyond that.
I think you got
and
it.
I think it is. And Ford really seems to be focusing on the pickups.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I know.
That was stunning. Just going to the River Rouge plant. And that's all
right. You were there.
Yes. And I was stunned that all they did was trucks. Just
I believe it's one of the plants, and it might be the River Rouge, that has trees or grass growing on it that for conservation.
They do their own ecology. They supply their own heat and water and
quite interesting.
Yeah, they're really very ecologically minded. That's really amazing.
I've always tipped my hat to Ford because they seem to be, when everyone else is zinging, they're zanging.
Yeah.
And I like the zanging better than the zinging.
Yeah.
They seem to be right on their game.
Yeah.
Always. Always. Their pickup truck, I believe, is the number 1 selling pickup truck. I believe the Mustang, even though other manufacturers have the Challenger as well as the Camaro, I believe the Mustang tops them all in sales. I believe so.
Well,
I mean, it's quite a good vehicle. Ford really has their game on, and they continue to. The only thing that breaks my heart is when they lose models that we're so grown accustomed to. The Crown Vic is no longer offered, nor is the Town Car and Fords, and a lot of the bigger vehicles are not being offered.
But the Ranger went away, but the Ranger's coming back.
Ranger's coming back, and I believe it's going to be a European version of the Ranger that they already have over in Europe right now.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. And they're going to make a Raptor version of it, which is that off-road super, and that'd be something you'd want. Keep that tough guy image. Yeah. So.
Okay, last week we talked about Goshen, and he's now gone.
Oh, that was quick.
Yes, Sayakawa gets the green light for the new direction at Nissan. And I understand Mitsubishi will follow Nissan is also in ousting Goshen.
That's interesting because, and Mitsubishi's also in the news. I read that they've been trying to expand their dealer network here in the United States. So it seems to me they're picking up some pieces and trying to make some new inroads into the market here in the United States. Mitsubishi over the years has been in and out and in and out. I can remember back in the early 90s, the Mitsubishi Eclipse was one of the big sellers in this country in all of the 2-door sporty vehicles. And now it's gone, and they're trying to come back on in. I don't know. I've always felt that some of the Mitsubishi products have never been up to the standard that the other vehicles were at the time. It's just my take on it from repair standpoint. They seem to be problematic.
Yeah, because you see them from the inside out.
Absolutely. Yeah. We see the pattern failures that that a lot of people don't see unless they have belong to a forum or a car club that has that type of vehicle.
Right.
Like PT Cruisers is a big following of vehicles. You talk to them, you'll find out that there's head gasket issues and there's some other problematic issues that can be solved, but they all have common problems.
Yeah.
So common problems are something that travels in the model lines of vehicles.
And Toyota, they pinned their Corolla's hopes on the multicultural buyers. So that's
Interesting.
Yeah.
I also heard that Subaru is going to offering a hybrid.
Yes.
That's interesting. So I don't believe Subaru's ever had a hybrid. And remember how we've talked about the technology now off the shelf is becoming so commonplace that smaller manufacturers that don't quite make as many vehicles to disperse the engineering costs and design of it can now use off the shelf technology and incorporate it into their model line and still make it effective and value driven for the customer.
Yeah. And Bentley made the news again. They're sharpening their Continental GT convertible with a redesign.
Well, I think the people that buy the Bentleys would be welcoming it with their checkbook as well.
Right.
The Bentleys are a great vehicle, but by golly, they cost. And we've had customers that have Bentleys, and they're a fine automobile.
Very solid.
They're very expensive to fix. But the people that love the Bentleys and the Rolls Royces are a great group of people, and they love their vehicles. And we open our doors at all of our locations that they're over in Cove Road and Stewart, as well as the Palm City location to them, and we fix them.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. And then lastly, if you were listening to the news at the top of the hour,
yes, sir,
you heard about the NASA's InSight spacecraft, which landed successfully
now
today.
Let's give you some background. InSight, in short, is short for Interior Exploration Using Seismic Investigations, Geodesy, and Heat Transport. It's different from other Mars missions, which all studied the surface. InSight is the first mission to study the interior of the red planet.
Oh, I wonder if the interior, what is it? Is it cloth or is it leather? That interior.
It's definitely rocky.
Yeah. I don't know if it's cold or hot up there, and I don't know whether they got air or not. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Once we're going to have a device that's going to just continually bore down through the many layers.
Well, that's going to be very interesting to see what we find.
Yes.
Because we can see microbes if there are any. We can see past history.
And the chemical analysis of the rock will tell them what the geology was like at the time, too. Sure.
Maybe dinosaurs roamed there. Who knows? I mean, you really don't know anything. We don't know much. Nope. Because we've only been there. I don't know how many times.
And we keep learning things about the geology of this world.
Our Earth.
Constantly.
I've read recently and
always rewriting our history books.
There's water in the center of the earth. That's interesting. Just thinking about that there's liquid, that there is liquid pockets of water. Isn't that interesting?
Wow. That would make some pretty good steam.
It sure would over there at Old Faithful. Was it Yellowstone? I believe.
Yes. I saw that.
You did?
Yes.
Did you see it's like a turquoise blue when you look down into it? You saw that.
It's just beautiful.
Is it beautiful? My parents had gone there once.
It's called a prismatic it's a word like
it almost looks like one of those crazy pictures that you'd see with the Hubble telescope of a galaxy or something. It reminds me of that. And we're only looking inward.
It's just a very clean chemical soup of unique elements, and make those beautiful prisms of color.
I wonder if you can go swimming in it.
No. If you do, you'll never come out.
So here's the
Guaranteed.
lineup. Here's the lineup for the show.
Okay.
Upcoming show, I wanted to tell everybody that 3 weeks from now, on December 17th, we're going to do a show on Santa's sleigh and how it works.
Okay.
We may have a couple guests come on and may surprise everybody on how that sled flies. We're still doing we have some reporters out in the field doing some heavy investigation up there at the North Pole. And we're going to come up with some good, solid answers on how that rascal flies around.
Nice.
Someone says something about reindeers. I believe there's other things involved too, a little bit of magic and some other things, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
December 17th.
Fairy dust. Yeah.
I believe that's 3 weeks from now.
Okay.
And it is. And we've done the news. We're going to do some gifts for Christmas. Well, Christmas is coming up. It came on me so fast. I just can't believe it's weeks away.
Yep.
And I know that we have a lot of listeners that enjoy their vehicles and cars and are enthusiasts. And I have a list of some good items that would be a good gift, or someone listening would give a gift to their significant other or friends that are interested in cars. And then we'll follow up with Crown Car Care and the extra that we do. And I wonder what that is. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, okay.
We have 2 locations to serve you here in downtown Martin County. A little bit on the outreach. We have a shop in Palm City
Mhm.
and we have a shop in Stewart. 2 shops. And our shop in Palm City has been there for quite a few years, since 2006.
Wow.
Same location.
Mhm.
And we're right over there off the Turnpike entrance on 714. The address is 3982 Southwest Bruner Terrace, and the hotline number is 772-781-8000. 772-781-8000. Even if we don't answer it during the day, we'll quickly get back to you, leave a message, and one of our people will call you back, and likely it will be Chris or Joan. Chris is my manager over there, and he's been with me for going on 3 years.
Wow.
Great man. He's ex-military. He was in the Navy, and what a smart man he is. And he's so receptive and so nice to our guests. He just answers the questions. He opens the door and makes people feel real comfortable. And our location over on Cove Road, well, Mike's been there with us over 10 years.
Wow.
10 years. And Mike is quite a man. He's a gentleman. He's always smiling, and he's always ready to take a phone call from you or open the door for you, or maybe put some air in your tires and check anything you need. And he can help you over there at Cove Road. That phone number is 772-283-4707. That's 772-283-4707. So we have 2 phone numbers to serve you. A lot of people just remember that 772, that 781.
8,000.
Yeah, it's an easy number to remember. It's a good one.
Mhm.
And you can call anytime, and if it's after hours, leave a message and we'll get with you. Otherwise, we'll answer it during the day, and we'll get you right in for any kind of concern you have or maintenance that you need. So let's get right to this. What kind of gift do you get somebody?
Yeah.
Any ideas? What kind of gift would you give someone that's a car enthusiast?
Wow.
Think about it.
Yeah, I would probably go to the website
Ooh.
where they that owns
With
that model of car, right? The
That's a
maker,
good idea. Yeah.
and see what kind of accessories they
Ooh.
make for that
Do
vehicle.
you know, I never thought about that. What a great idea.
Yeah.
And there's custom floor mats that are a little bit better than the ones you get. Maybe some doodads that you could add on to it. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, I was thinking maybe, how about a polishing machine for keeping that wax on,
Okay.
or putting it on and putting it off? It's
Wax on, wax off.
They make
yes.
they make some buffing machines now that are very reasonable, under $50, and that you can really assist you in
Mhm.
getting that wax on and wax off, and it really, and puts a nice shine and finish on the car. Usually they're an orbital type, and most of them are you plug into the wall, but they have battery operated ones now.
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that amazing? Some of the
Yeah.
battery technology. Yeah, it's that lithium.
And it goes back to the space program.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
The original collection materials that they used, the drills and all on the moon, was
Ah.
developed by Rockwell.
Oh, really? I
And,
didn't know that. Oh, that's
and-
interesting.
and,
Oh, so a buffing machine would be a
Yeah.
great thing for a car
Mhm.
enthusiast. How about another
Mhm.
one, a complete detail kit? And by golly, you can get them anywhere.
mhm.
Walmart, Home Depot's even got them. It comes in a little kit, and it'll come with some protectant for the tires, and
Mm.
maybe some spray protectant for the seats and the dash, some cleaners, maybe some leather conditioners that you would put on your leather seats to keep them fresh and clean.
Right.
You've got car wash soap, and usually comes with a little thing of wax. Comes in a kit. Sometimes it comes with a bucket. I've seen them anywhere from $21 all the way up to $35 to $40, and it's a complete kit. And what a great gift it is for somebody that doesn't know what to give somebody, but they know that other person loves
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah.
I'd love to have it. I've many times in auctions that we've done over the years, a lot of times we'll put together a Crown Car Care kit that has all that stuff in it that we
Oh.
can, we'll give to a charity that auctions it off.
What a great idea.
In fact, my wife this weekend just made one for an auction that we're being involved in. It's a charity, and we got a sleigh, and we put some cleaners in there, a bucket
Wow.
and sponge and all kind of gift certificate, and we make it all a package, and you can bid on it and get it and help the and you'll
Wow.
help the charity. What a great, it's a good
Yeah,
idea.
A lot of fun.
Here's another idea, and you've probably seen them in the news, a dash cam.
Yeah.
Have you
very
ever seen those before?
I know of them. I know they're very popular in Russia, of all places.
You're
Almost
kidding me.
Every car on the road has got a dash cam.
I don't know why. I hate to imagine. Maybe it's because there's some bad happenings going on there, and you
Yes.
need to see what's going on.
Yes.
But it is something you can think about every reason in the world
Yeah.
to have it.
Yeah.
I don't know the reasoning why you'd want it. I could see to make sure that you're always in a safe spot if anything bad would be to happen, or maybe you want to just keep track of stuff, right? Maybe how many times have you been pulled over where you don't think you're speeding and they say you are, and my golly, if you had a dash cam, what's going to happen? You may be able to prove your innocence.
Yeah.
And who knows? I mean, how many times have we seen in the news maybe where things have gone a different way?
Yes.
Because of a dash cam.
Yep.
We know that the local law enforcement agencies and the sheriff's departments, as well as the state police, all use them.
Right.
And I think it's a great idea. I think it just keeps everything on the up and on a level playing field.
That's right.
And that's all I'm going to say on it. They're not a bad idea. I don't have one myself.
Yeah.
Do you have one?
No.
I don't.
No.
But listen, they're cheap.
They
I'm
are.
guessing, I don't know, probably $100,
Yeah.
$150 would be my guess. And a lot of times they have a Bluetooth that you can put right into your phone, or they have an SD card, which is, if anyone doesn't know what that is, that's a little memory chip that you, like in a camera, that you plug into it or push into it, and it kind of records the data over a period of days, and then you can download it onto a computer or a laptop, and you can see what it is.
Yeah, and I know a lot of cars, the newer cars now have a lot of USB ports.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
It's almost like a little computer on board. And we talked about that when we were talking about radios. Remember that radio show we had a couple months ago? We talked about all the different types of radio systems, and that is available out there. So a high quality dash cam is out there. They've gotten real cheap. Go on eBay, look on Amazon, look at your local stores.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. Go to any store like Napa here in Palm City. You've got a couple of car care places that sell the products, not necessarily you put them on.
Yeah.
And a driver's seat is another great one.
Okay.
Yeah, right here in town.
Very
How about
cool.
something a little bit out of the ordinary? How about a radio controlled car
Oh,
for the kid and all of us?
RC cars.
Yeah. Do you have any of those?
I used to have one
You
years
did?
ago. Yeah, of course.
My son has two of them, and my daughter and son share them.
Yeah.
And we have those monster trucks that are they're green and black.
Right.
And I can't think of the name of the guy. It's that truck that looks like it's a Undertaker car or something.
Hopping around.
They hop around with big tires, and
Yeah.
boy, the technology on them things, these things scoot.
Yeah.
You charge them up, right?
Yeah.
And then you have a little handheld transmitter, I think, that the radio signal to it, and they're a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like the kids like to jump them more than they like to race them.
I think so.
They build a ramp and they jump the curve.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they
Watch them
bounce.
fly.
Watch them fly. That's
Yeah.
what I used to do as a kid with bikes.
That's-
So the radio controlled cars didn't exist when I was a kid.
no.
They had them, but they had a wire connected to it.
That's right.
Do you remember the little one? You'd push a button, and I had a
Sure.
couple of things that you'd push a button. I'd take it out in the snow when I got it for Christmas, and it was a big thing. Drive it through the snow, see what kind of power it's got. A lot different today.
Yeah, they're
These-
driving through the snow right now up in Chicago today.
They are.
Yeah,
And how much snow we got up there?
quite a bit. I understand quite a bit.
Putting
Yeah,
some
and the-
salt down on the road, I bet.
A lot of flights were canceled today too.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
that's not good.
500 flights.
So let's see. We got the radio controlled car. We have the cam. Let's see what else how about let's see here. Complete decaling kit, the radio control car. How about an FM transmitter?
Oh, that sounds like a neat idea.
Okay, now what I mean
what
by
would
that
you do
is,
with an FM transmitter?
let's say that you have your phone that
Okay.
you listen to all your music on,
Okay.
and you want to listen to it on your car.
Oh yeah.
How would you get that signal from the phone to the car?
Well, Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. We used to
Right.
have a thing that if you had a cassette player, remember the cassette players with the wire thing hanging out?
Yeah.
You buy a dummy cassette and it would have a wire coming out, and you'd plug it in with the micro port into the device. That was back in the days of like
That was in the 70s.
Walkmans and things of that
Yeah,
nature.
yeah,
You could
80s,
play,
yeah,
right. But
yeah.
now they have this thing called Bluetooth.
Okay.
Okay.
All
And Who
right.
can tell me what the Bluetooth is? What's that? It's a famous who? What is Who is Bluetooth?
I don't know. Tell
It's
me.
a famous Norse sailor from like
Ah,
Sweden area that was a
okay.
famous Viking, I believe, and he was
Ah.
all powerful and all knowing and a legend. So Bluetooth.
Okay.
And what it does is it's kind of like a mini radio system, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it broadcasts a signal that can sync with your phone as well as another device,
Okay.
right? Kind of like at home we use it with the Amazon. What's that tall thing from Amazon that you can connect
Oh,
up?
Alexa.
Alexa
Yeah.
is generally Bluetoothed to your phone,
Okay.
and then your phone sends a signal to the Wi-Fi, which then hooks it up to make it Wi-Fiable. But the first process is always Bluetooth,
Nice.
right? And Bluetooth is another way to do remote speaker on your phone.
Yeah.
Right. If you're down at the pool or hiking somewhere and you want some good sound while you're at your campfire or eating lunch, you use a Bluetooth speaker. Right. Well, this is the same thing for a car.
Oh, okay.
So what it's doing is Bluetoothing it to a transmitter, which then sends a signal to the radio, which you don't tune it in.
Okay.
So like how we're 1450
AM.
AM,
Right.
you would have, let's say, 92.3 FM.
Right.
And you would dial your radio to 93.2 FM,
Mhm.
and then that would pick up the Bluetooth signal that was transmitted to that frequency, and you'd hear it on your car radio.
Nice.
So it's a transmission mechanism.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, delivery system.
Delivery. So it's Bluetooth, then to FM, then onto your radio.
Yeah.
So if you have an older car, and you don't want to spend the big money on a system upgrade, you do a Bluetooth FM transmitter. I get it.
Yeah.
Kind of complicated, but it works. If you buy one and you need some help installing it, where do you go?
Crown Car Care.
Oh, yeah. Or you
Yeah.
call the radio station and Frankie will come out and tell you how to do it,
Yeah.
or tell you on the phone,
I would
or
say-
he'll give you the phone number of Crown Car Care.
Yes, and directions.
And directions, right? And he'd be on the air running.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about another idea? How about some car speakers?
Yeah. Oh,
you-
man. I
Have
love
you ever
cars.
put Jensen Triax in your car?
No, what are they?
Jensen Triaxials were these famous speakers from the 70s and 80s that every hot rod kid wanted to put in his car for
Ah.
the sound.
Uh,
So speaker system upgrades are all out there. They're available. It involves a little bit of work, doesn't it? Because you got to pull door panels and maybe install new speakers in where the existing ones are.
yeah,
But
they
it
don't
gives
have rocker panels like in the 60s. The cars that I could actually take the screws off the rocker panel and run the wires.
I don't
from
think it's very difficult today with modern cars to pull out things and install, but it can be done.
Yeah.
And we can do it for you. If you want to do a speaker upgrade, we just call Crown Car Care, 772-781-8000. And we can hook you up with some speakers and get them installed for you.
Nice.
So it's if you're a radio or a sound guy and you're a car guy, it's a perfect match. And it's inexpensive. You can buy
Yeah.
speakers for, I'm going to say, under $50. You can buy a nice set of speakers to improve it.
Right.
And if you have an older car, a lot of speakers do what? They go bad. They just
They get tinny.
tinny, right? And
Yeah.
it doesn't quite sound as
Right.
good as it should.
Right.
And that is something you could do, upgrading it with car speakers. So that's another gift you could buy somebody that loves vehicles or cars. Why don't we take a break?
Sounds like a capital idea, Watson.
And then we'll come back with 3 more ideas for gifts, and then we'll get right into how we can help you at Crown Car Care.
Sounds delightful. All
I've
right.
seen a few.
So stick with us. We'll be right back. Now it's time for today's Southeast AgNet Report, which is brought to you by Everglades Farm Equipment, a family-owned business for the past 50 years with 10 Florida locations, including Fort Pierce, Okeechobee, and Loxahatchee. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. You're listening to Crown Car Care with Todd Harris.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yes, and we've got more things to talk about here.
We have
speakers
3
and stuff.
more items
Yeah.
to give you some ideas for gifts for the people you love, or the people that love cars and transportation. One of the things that everybody loves and needs is a good set of sockets and wrenches that will enable you to do a little tinkering. Like maybe putting them speakers in, maybe mounting that dash cam, putting in that FM transmitter for the Bluetooth radio we talked about, maybe doing tire change, maybe putting a little doodad, some extra lighting in it. There's all kinds of things you can use that socket set for, as well as not just for the car, but at home. And a lot of people don't have that complete set. And boy, I'm going to tell you out there, the quality that we see now is spectacular. It used to be that you had to, in my business, you had to buy from the top 3.
Yeah.
And everything else was way below in quality. But I can tell you the quality out there now, even with the entry level, and I use entry level for the backyard mechanic or anybody that's looking for just a once in a while type toolkit, they have package deals out there. You can get them anywhere from Sears to Lowe's to Home Depot to Harbor Freight to Walmart. I mean, it's just the brands are endless where you can pick these up, and they're cheap. And I don't have an answer why, but I'm telling you, the quality has gotten to the point where it's not, it's not as quality as some of the tools that we need in our industry from a professional level. But by golly, if you're just putting
comes
indoor,
close. Yeah.
comes close. I
Yeah.
mean, it's good. A lot of them have guarantees for life.
Yeah.
You know, you got to watch who you buy from.
Well, Craftsman is now selling their product at Ace Hardware.
And Lowe's.
Yeah.
And Lowe's.
And Lowe's.
Yes, because I've heard a lot of Sears stores are closing up.
They are.
Kind of makes me sad. I
Yeah.
can remember looking at the Sears catalog and dreaming as a boy, thinking
Yeah.
about all those gifts I wanted, the G.I.
Yeah.
Joes and the Hot Wheel tracks and the Sizzlers and all that cool stuff that I still remember and actually still have.
Cool.
Have those gifts. So a socket set would be a great gift, and you can buy from under $50. You can buy some for 25,
Wow.
10. I've seen little small sets. They have screwdrivers that have all these interchangeable bits now that you can buy. You've
Oh,
probably seen those.
yeah.
Oh, they're fun.
Yeah.
I love tools just for the tool end of it. You know what I mean? Just looking at them and touching them and shining up the chrome on it and then putting them back. Gosh, I can have an afternoon of fun just cleaning and looking at my tools. I really can, and I have a lot of tools.
I bet you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of tools.
I believe it
Yeah.
easily. Oh yeah.
It's what I've done my whole life is fix cars,
Sure.
and I to this day love doing it, and it's what we do.
Yeah.
A jump starter,
Oh,
and I can tell you those jump starters have changed. They're little teeny things with the lithium batteries. They're the size of a pocket paperback book.
wow.
And they put out, some of them put at 700, 800 amps.
You know, I imagine them the size of a kid's lunch bucket. The old, remember the old
Oh,
lunch
the
pail?
jumper packs.
Yeah.
They're not that way now.
No.
Those things
Wow.
are tiny. And
Good.
I still to this day cannot grasp in my brain
How much power?
the power that they put out. Now it's a quick dump. So
Yeah.
you're not going to get multiple big jump starts out of these things. They kind of like, they exhaust all the power quick. You know, it's not like putting a jumper from a battery that's in another car with the cables. You have any good jumper cable stories?
No.
A lot of people, I can tell you stories.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them get melted.
Yes.
Those are fun.
Here's I'm going to take everyone on the Wayback Machine, and I'm
Okay.
going to tell you back to the Todd days of Illinois. I can remember when I was 16 years
Yeah.
old.
Mhm.
I used to drive a tow truck after school, working at a full serve gas station, and I'm sure I've talked about it in some of my beginning shows here,
Mm.
and we can always revisit it anytime if anybody wants to. But I would drive around in a tow truck in the dead of winter, Saturdays and Sundays, and after my high school days in school,
Mm.
and we'd get these service calls. And it was with the Amoco. I worked
Mm.
at an Amoco station, Standard Oil, and we did Amoco Motor Club, as well as people calling us up. We had, I believe, 3 locations. I worked at the one location, and that's where we had 3 tow trucks. And on the back of that tow truck was a Goodall Start All. That's what it was called. Goodall was the brand, and it was called Start All.
Okay.
And it was a 10 horsepower engine driving a generator jumper pack. They called it a jumper pack. You get the jumper pack fired up, and we'd fire that thing up in the dead of winter. And remember, it's
It's like
10
starting up
degrees below zero. You'd start this thing up, and you never shut it off.
It's like starting a lawnmower, right?
Yes,
Full
but you'd be
start.
driving around in the tow truck, jumping people, and you wouldn't shut the darn thing off because a lot of times it got so cold, it wouldn't
Would-
restart.
Yeah.
So once it was started and running, I can remember going on service calls, even late at night, early in the morning,
Right.
dead of winter snowstorms. I had chains are on these tow trucks.
Good.
And I would
God.
drive around jumping vehicles. And remember, they didn't have sealed batteries then. It was the kind that they'd actually freeze up. And a lot of times you jump them, they blow up because the batteries were frozen. Remember, you're talking cold right outside Chicago on the northern shore in a town called Libertyville,
Yeah.
where I grew up. And I can remember jump starting these people. Now, we didn't have jumper packs like we do today, these little teeny things.
How about those heater things? Remember that for garages? They put these little heaters. You plug it in and you put it inside the engine compartment, and it just keeps the motor.
Yeah, diesels have those today.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Diesel engines today, a lot of them come factory with a block heater. It's
Mhm.
called a block heater.
Okay.
And you could add them on, you could add them on. They used to sell some that were like a blanket.
Yeah.
But the ones that come factory today on diesel trucks are one of the freeze plugs, which is a round hole on the side of the engine where they cast the motor.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, everybody, motors are cast from molten iron, and they pour it into these sand molds. And the core plug, when they blow out the sand, is where they put a freeze plug in. And when the freeze plug is removed, you can put in this block heater that will heat the water, because the water goes in where the sand was when you cast these engines.
Okay.
So that's how an engine's made. They're cast.
Mm-hmm.
The sand dissipates. They
Right.
blow out the sand, and now you have this open cavity. That's where the coolant and the water go in that cools the engine. And if you have a little heating element, kind of like something you'd see, remember the old days when you start a charcoal fire, they had those plug-in ones that was started up. It looked like a ring.
Yeah.
Looked like an oval ring. That's
Mhm.
kind of like what, if you open your oven door up and you look at if it's an electric oven, you look at
It's got
that round metal gray thing that you never want to touch, even though you think it's cold,
right.
or that likely still hot, right? Or the coil on your stove. If you have the
Yeah.
old school stoves, the non-inductive
right.
type or glass, you get the old coil rings. Well, that's what these block heaters do. And you heat them up, it heats the coolant up, so it'll start. And diesels have to have it today because of why? Because the diesel fuel is like a thicker fuel substance than gasoline, so it doesn't vaporize quick. So you have to heat everything up to make it start.
Right.
So remember, diesel runs off the heat of compression. There's no spark plug. So for it to fire, the engine sometimes has to be a little bit hot. So I can remember jump starting these vehicles, and I go back in time and I think about this stuff and how blessed we are with technology and batteries and things that us guys that were in the field servicing the public with their vehicles, it's changed so much and benefited us professionals that do this type of work. We sometimes don't count our blessings.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Yes.
Because I can tell you the technology has changed tremendously. And I'm going to get to the jump starter. Okay, so these jump starters that you can buy are little teeny things. And they usually come in a zipped up bag, kind of like what you'd see maybe a phone would come in a phone bag, or a little tiny clutch purse that a woman would have. And inside there's the battery pack, and then it has a jumper cables, just like you're used to, the red and the black. And, the red is the positive and the black is the negative.
Right.
And what do you think happens when you hook them up backwards?
Oof.
Not good.
Now it's a little bit of sparks going on.
But I will tell you, there's some smart technology on some of these jumper packs that don't allow, there's micro switches inside with relays that don't, if they see the wrong polarity, it won't allow you to go any further.
Wow.
But there's still plenty of jumper packs out there that I'm going to tell you, if you jump it wrong, it gets ugly. I've seen things, it's almost like lightning hits, all the PCM and computers blow out.
Yeah.
And you know how many computers are in a car? Some have 22, 25, 30 computers in one car, all networked together, talking with each other, all Bluetooth and everything else. And let me tell you, it can create a mess out of something so simple as a jump start or a battery. And that's why it's so important to have a repair shop that you go to, that you trust, that you can check the battery when it comes in for an oil change.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't check the battery, how do you know it's any good?
Right.
You don't know. A lot of times batteries don't give you a warning sign.
No, they just
die
flat out quit.
Okay, so the last item that you might want to buy somebody that's a car guy is a tire inflator.
Okay.
You
It
know,
kind of goes into your
cigarette lighter.
Cigarette lighter.
or they call it accessory
The
plug, because they don't have cigarette lighters in cars anymore.
No.
They don't. They're not even, I don't even think they're available.
You
And
have
they
to-
shouldn't be.
No.
You may have to special order them. I don't know if you can special order them or not, or buy them and add them on, but I wouldn't even want to put one in for somebody.
Yeah.
And everyone should know better. So, but a tire inflator is something that you can plug into your cigarette lighter or accessory plug that you would
Right.
plug in your phone to charge.
Mhm.
And it allows you to inflate your tires if they're low, or if you were, heaven forbid, to get a flat tire somewhere with a nail in it, at least you can get her filled up temporarily to get the safety.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? If you get a flat tire, a lot of times you can fill them up and at least get a couple miles to somewhere that's safe zone,
Right.
because many times our car breaks in a place that we don't want it to. And I can tell you, back in the old days, I was just giving you, everybody out there, the stories of jump starting in the cold. I can tell you, cars used to break in the middle of nowhere. They break in an intersection. Those days, we don't see it too much today.
That's true.
You don't see this breakdown tow-in deal.
Mhm.
At least I don't. In my businesses, I very rarely, unless it's a big commercial truck or really a high mileage car that's we're trying to keep on the road, you don't see it in today's, 10 years and newer type vehicles.
Yeah.
They don't just break down on the road. They do. Listen, they can, but I don't see it like I used to.
No.
I used to have story after story of these, and there were always these events,
Yeah.
breakdown in the middle of how many cars have I pushed into the gas station I worked at from the intersection? It was many. And those are the days when you could stop traffic and push it in and people wouldn't honk at you. They'd help you.
Right.
It's hard to find some of that love today. And
Right.
They'll
Hey, get out of the way, buddy.
honk you. I'm finding now, if you don't respond on the
Yeah.
traffic light fast enough, you get the love toot, the
Oh, yeah.
beep, beep.
Yeah.
and they tell you to get going because you know what everyone's doing? They're on their phones.
Yeah.
And I see it all the time. So a tire inflator is a great gift. We've gone over about 9 or 10 items that are a fabulous idea for people. And if you have any other questions, give us a call, 772-781-8000, and we'll help you out with those gift ideas.
All righty. We'll be right back, so stick with us. We are back. You're listening to Crown Car Care with Todd Harris.
I was busy on break.
781-8000.
Yeah, that phone number again. If you need to get a hold of me after the show, and you, well, not right after the show, but if you want to get a hold of me tomorrow
During business hours.
If you call 772-781-8000, I'll repeat that, 772, that's the area code here from Martin County, 781-8000, that's 8000. We can get you on the phone and we'll talk to you about a question you have. Maybe you want to schedule something in. Maybe you want to come by and visit with me.
Right.
We'll do it. I'll give you the time.
And we had a fascinating question that came in during break.
We did. And what was that?
The question was, if you've got a car that did not come with a spare, how do you remedy that? How do you put a spare into?
And it is an
that
interesting
car?
dilemma. And the phone call was the gentleman that had called us said that he did have an incident where he got a flat tire, and what ensued after that was he had to call a tow truck, a AAA or whatever the particular towing service was. But now we come out, Speedy Gonzalez out to your service. How can I help you? And you say, I'd like to have my spare tire put on. And then the gentleman or the person or the gal from the towing service or the road service opens your trunk or looks underneath and there's no spare.
Ruh-roh.
What do we do? And you've got a big hole in your tire in the sidewall and it can't be fixed.
Right.
Now what? What do you do? Well, I can tell you your only solution is what? You're going to get towed. And that's going to be downtime, isn't it? And you're going to have to hopefully find a shop or a place that's open. Not everybody's open at midnight. What happens if you had your mishap on at 10:30 at night on a Saturday? What are you going to do? But now let's go to the other alternative. Yes. You have a flat tire. It's 10:30 at night on a Saturday. Tow truck service arrives or the road service arrives, says, how can I help you, sir or ma'am? I have a flat tire. Can you help me? Gentleman says, well, can you pop the trunk or lift the tailgate? And he looks in there and there's a spare tire. The guy says, I'll be able to get right to it. Jacks up the car, changes the tire out, and you're on your way. And the whole downtime was about a half hour. Nice. What was different about that second situation than the first one?
Well, obviously,
we know there was, he popped the trunk and there was nothing in it.
Yeah.
Right? The first one. The second one, there was a tire. Now, sometimes there's only a temporary spare, but let me tell you.
They call them donuts.
Donuts. Maybe a donut's better than a...
And here's the thing that I find frightening, and this is probably why, there's a couple of reasons why auto companies don't even put donuts on cars anymore. One of which is sometimes people put those donuts on and they keep going. And those are supposed to be temporary tires.
I know.
Right?
I know. How many times have you seen that thing going on?
It's like, dude, and you're not supposed to take them into the highway. I've seen them on 95 flying down the road with a donut. And I go, I want to get out of the way.
Absolutely. I'm going to tell you the third scenario.
Wow.
You get a flat tire.
Yeah.
Service or the towing service or road service comes. How can I help you? I have a flat tire. Can you help me? He pops the trunk. He says, I can help you. There's a temporary spare in there. But he pulls it out and it's flat.
Oh, I've seen that happen.
The spare tire's flat.
Dry ride, right?
Yeah. And here's what I can tell you. If you come into Crown Car Care, either one of our locations, and you become one of our special customers, you get your oil change. You know what we're going to check? We're really going to check that spare tire and give you a report on it.
Yeah.
So if you come to Crown Car Care, we're going to at least give you that information that could potentially save you a whole bunch of time and money.
Right.
Because that spare tire, if it has one, is going to be inflated. Now, if you don't have a tire and you're case number one,
right,
where I said the guy pops the trunk and you look underneath and there's nothing there because many cars, they don't even have one.
Right.
Or a lot of times you'll buy, I'm going to give you a fourth scenario. You just bought a used car and it's supposed to have one, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do then?
Right.
Well, if you'd gone to Crown Car Care and had a used car inspection before you bought the car or called us and you came over for just a complimentary inspection,
right,
we would have checked that and said, hey, you know what? That car's supposed to have at a minimum, a donut, and there's nothing there. Here's some options. And we can find you a donut. We can maybe get you a full-size spare tire in there so you'd have total peace of mind, right? Total peace of mind would be what? Full size spare,
100%.
good rubber on it that matches up with the size that's
and
on
is
the car.
inflated and
It's
holding
inflated,
pressure.
holding air so you
Yeah.
can get on your way.
Right.
That was the way it was originally intended.
Yes.
Because remember, tire technology back in the 60s and 50s and 30s and 20s
Mhm.
was horrible.
Yeah.
You pretty much always got a flat tire.
You know, I used to take, when I was a kid growing up, I would take my spare tire because they were always the crummiest tire.
Of
right?
course.
And I would actually remember inner tubes.
Oh yeah, you can save the day by tubing it.
They go in tubular, man.
And tubular.
We would do
Oh, yeah.
that. And that way, you know, and I wouldn't use it as a running tire.
Yeah, but you
it's perfectly
knew
good.
what you had though.
Right. And it's perfectly fine as a spare.
And here's what I can tell you. The moral to that story
Yeah.
is you knew what you had.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, if you don't know what you got, come over to our world. I urge you, come into my shops. We got a shop on Cove Road that can help you. We got a shop in Palm City. It can't be more than a 10-mile drive either way for wherever you live in Martin County. Even if you live in Indiantown, for
Yeah.
crying out loud, you can still get to my shop. It's only about 14 miles away if you come up Citrus, right?
Yeah.
You can get to my world quick.
Nice.
And it might be the best trip you ever made to get to my world, short or long distance.
Sure.
Because once you jump into the Crown Car Care world at 772-78-1000, you're safe.
Mm.
And one of the final things I was going to talk
Yeah.
about, and we got about 30 seconds or a minute.
Yeah,
I
about
was
a
gonna-
minute.
About a minute, I was going to say, well, here's the extra that we do. We check
Okay.
all the lights.
Yeah.
We check your spare tire. We road test the vehicle before and after any kind of repair. We spend the time to see if you have any hidden warranties. Hidden warranties, you say, maybe we should have a show on warranties
I think so.
next week.
Yes.
Next week is good. Let's talk about warranty.
I'm
next week.
exercising one of those right now.
And I want you to tell the tale next
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
So let's talk about warranties next week. And I will prepare a good show for y'all. And we actually call you back at Crown Car Care. You mean if I drop my car for service, you're really going to call me? We're really going to call you.
Yeah.
And we're really going to tell you if you need a spare tire, if you have a light bulb out, we're going to really tell you. I promise you. And that's 772-781-8000. If you call Crown Car Care, we'll make it well worth your efforts to come into our world.
Good. So next week we're going to talk about
warranty.
warranties. Okay.
Oh,
So
no.
get out your owner's manual and
Yes.
read with us.
Yes, what the warranty is. And we'll talk about it because there's a lot of twists in the road on that one.
Yes, indeed.
It's called exclusions.
I hate when that happens.
I know it. So everybody have a blessed week, a weekend, and look forward to Christmas. It's coming up about 5 weeks away.
Yes.
And we've got a great couple shows coming up ahead of us, warranties. And later towards Christmas, we're going to talk about how that sled flies as Santa.
Nice.
So everyone have a nice evening, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Mm.